He was known as one of the greatest poets of all time. Scots adored him as one of the Scottish legendary writers, paving the way for modern literature, Robert Burns. But who was Robert Burns really? What was his life like? Who were his friends? What were his dreams? To find the answers to these questions and more, my associate and I have traveled long and far to bring you the truth behind the mystery. Let's start with his childhood. Robert Burns had many friends, but it was hard to contact those still living. However, there is one who remembers the poet. So, Fat Bastard, tell us what you know about your deceased friend, Robert Burns.
Well, Robbie was born in an old alleyway up in the hill of Shire. He lived there with his papa as a wee lad, till they up and moved to Mott Oliphant far southeast of dear old house.
So how did you meet the great Robert Burns?
We were schoolmates in the old schoolhouse, but Robbie was never there much. He got a little schooling, but his papa taught him at home, he did.
Get in my belly!
Excuse me, sir?
Oh, nothing.
As Robert grew up, he began to grow disillusioned with the life of a plowman. In 1779, he joined a country dance school and formed the Tarbolton Bachelors Club, much to the dismay of his father. It sparked the beginning of his artistic rebirth. He began to write poems to his friends, Gilbert, Allison, and Peggy. He offered to marry the lovely Alison Begbie, but was rejected. What followed was a series of unfortunate events that served as precursors to the beginnings of his trials and suffering. In 1784, he came to know the belles of Machline, and subsequently fell in love with the lovely Jean Amour, known secretly as Tila Tequila. Today we have the woman here herself to answer a few of our questions.
Yeah, Robert.
Tila, you were the first wife of the great Robert Burns.
First and last. That had 8 other children. Illegitimate, of course. No one would marry his after what he did to me.
Oh, right. Well, speaking of his personal life, who exactly influenced Burns?
Well, I'd say that little Mary Campbell influenced him enough. He heard like a bunch of stuff, poems and songs. He got her pregnant. Ugh, what a jerk. That's why I like girls.
Oh. Okay. Thanks for answering our questions. Indeed, Burns' life was filled with twists and turns. But what would inspire him to become the legend of the Scottish Highlands? Who would give him the encouragement and support to embark on his literary career? Who holds the key to unlock these burning questions? So, Chris.
Leave Ravi alone.
Look, we just wanted to ask you a few questions. You know, about his writing and what they write about him now.
It's not his fault that he was a great writer. People are just jealous. He can't help that he started publishing poems in 1786 and that people loved him. People need to just get over it. It's not like it's his fault people still read and study his works today. I mean, he had a wife and like 3 of their 9 children lived. He was just probably really upset.
Right. But Burns was more than just a friend to the eccentric. His ideologies inspired his writings. Burns was a Freemason of the Temple in Tarbolton, a worldwide fraternal organization. Its members joined together by shared ideals of both a moral and metaphysical nature. He wrote about Scottish patriotism, anti-clericalism, class inequalities, gender roles, commentary on the Scottish Kirk of his time, Scottish cultural identity, poverty, sexuality, and the beneficial aspects of popular socializing, or known as carousing. Truly, he was an innovator of the times. He composed the lyrics to the traditional New Year song, Auld Lang Syne, a song that forever brims with his creativism. Robert Burns changed the world with his words. Thank you, Robert Burns. Thank you for listening to our documentary on the great Robert Burns. Now, for your viewing pleasure, my associate will present a reading of the poem A Red, Red Rose.
Oh, my love's like a red, red rose that's newly sprung in June. Oh, my love's like a melody that's sweetly played in tune. As fair as thou, my bonny lass, stood deep in love am I, and I will love thee still, my dear, till all the seas gang dry. Till all the seas gang dry, my dear, and the rocks melt with the sun, I will love thee still, my dear, while the sands o' life shall run. And fare thee well, my only love, fare thee well a while, and I will come again, my love, though it were 10,000 mile.